Oh, hey, how y'all doing? I know y'all there. What's up, you beautiful folks, and welcome to another video. I think this is gonna be a rather short one. I got a police behind me. I don't like that too much. Hello. But this is gonna be a rather short one. Come on, Tubby Tubby. There you go, Tubby Tubby. Hey, Tubby Tubby. There we go. Alright, let's see here. There's that peg. Alright, folks. I wanted to talk to you guys about the future of the M109 because a lot of you are asking me, am I going to keep the 109? How does the the Scout Bobber compare to the 109? Am I going to sell the 109? Am I going to do this to the 109? Long story short, the 109 ain't going nowhere. Let's just go ahead and get that out the air. You guys kind of have to understand, if you don't know already, my love for the M109. Like, it is just, that bike is like bliss. You know, it's older, it's chunky, it's fat, it's heavy, it's not as agile as the newer bikes. But guess what? That bike is putting down stock Harley Davidson 114 power. That bike is putting down Harley Davidson 117 numbers. So my point to you is the M109 is still a relevant bike in 2017, and it's almost 11 years old. Well, actually it's older than 11 years if you count the fact that the first model was a 2006 and it came out and it's a 2005 model. So my M109, as you guys know, is modded, you know, exhaust, airbox, whatever. You know, I got all that stuff modded on it. The reason why you don't see mods on the M109 is simply because there's not really anything else that I want to do to it. There is the thought of putting a windshield on it, sissy bars, saddlebags, and all that kind of stuff, but I really don't like that look on the 109 unless I'm going to do a touring thing, which I will probably end up doing a windshield. But yeah, there's not really much else that I could do to the 109, honestly. And as far as power goes, there's not really much that you can do to it as far as power, because I don't even think the engine can handle it. Now, I have looked for turbos, I've looked for superchargers, I've looked for more power enhancements that I could possibly get out of the M109, but honestly, there's nothing available. Now, there is a couple of videos out on YouTube of people putting turbos and superchargers on the M109, but there's nothing that you can just outright buy and say, okay, like Lloyd's with the Victories. Like, you can't just go buy a supercharger and put it on the M109. Like I said, I don't even think the engine can even handle that. Because at the time that the M109 came out, that bike had the biggest pistons ever put on a freaking production motorcycle. And the pistons on it were bigger than some cars. Now, that's like nothing compared to bikes like the H2 and the Diavo and probably even the Rocket 3, the newer models that these bikes are putting out. So basically the M109 has reached its prime, and not only that, the market for aftermarket parts really isn't there. So you know, there is the idea of air ride and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not really looking at any of that kind of stuff. But what you do see me here and there doing, you might see me, you know, pull a couple pulls on the bike compared to other bikes, or you know, you might see me change the brakes out, because that's general maintenance stuff. But honestly, that's not really much that I can do to the 109, or rather what I want to do to it, because honestly, I love the bike in its form. I love it the way it is. I feel like I have it kind of exactly where I want it. At one point I did want chrome wheels. I rode the bike longer and realized that I really didn't need it. So honestly, it's like this, you know, there's not really much I can do to it. Now, being that I got this Scout Bobber now, and I have something new and fresh to ride, I will say that I'm finding myself wanting to ride the Indian more than I want to ride the M109, simply because I do a lot of city riding, I do a lot of commuting, and honestly, the Scout Bobber feels more nimble, it's lighter, and it's just, honestly, it's more fun to ride around town. That's just the truth. the Indian Scout Bobber is more fun to me to ride around town than my M109. And I would have felt that way whether it had been the Fat Bob, whether it had been the Bonneville, whether it had been the XD Oval, simply because, like I said, the 109 is past its prime. But when it comes to things like the power and the looks and overall quality and bulletproofness of that engine, it's still relevant, and to me it's still my benchmark, because there's no other bike that you can beat as far as the price to power ratio and your overall bang for the buck. There's nothing out there that beats that bike. There's nothing. You can't beat it. It's still a benchmark, and it is still a relevant machine to this day. When I look at the XD Oval, that is the only bike other than the Triumph Rocket 3 to me that comes close in muscle bike comparison that can hang with the 109. And you could say the V-Rod. So I mean, those are all worthy competitors of the 109, and because that's the market that the 109 is in. So all of those bikes, are relevant, but each of those bikes are more expensive than the M109 is. The Triumph, not so much. The V-Rod, maybe, give or take, but you could all, you pretty much all find those bikes used now for the same price. But you can't find the XD Oval for that price. And to me, the XD Oval trumps all of those bikes. Like I said, to me, there's not really, it's not necessarily just emotion behind that bike. It's just on paper, and what you see and what you get from that bike it's just unrivaled. I got a buddy that has that had a 109, and he sold it and got a Victory Magnum, and he actually even talked about buying another 109, because once you feel that 109, once you feel the M109, you will ride other bikes, you will experience other bikes, you will like other bikes, but there will be nothing that will take the place of that 109. There's nothing that's going to take it. That sheer grunt, that way it snatches you and that way it bounces. Like, I have yet to find another bike that when I crack the throttle back and I give it a sudden jerk of power, it bounces, it lifts up, it raises me out of my seat. And I've seen that bike do that with not only 180-pound people, I've seen that bike do that with over 200 and almost 300-pound people. The way that bike puts down power is just unrivaled, guys. And certain bikes now, they put it down better where they just jolt off the line and they go a lot faster, but there's just nothing that compares to that bike. I have yet to find it. But like I said, I'm in love with the XD Oval, and even if I had the XD Oval, I know that I would still find myself riding the M109. For me, it just doesn't make sense to sell the 109. The 109 is paid for, and I don't have any maintenance issues with it. All I have to do is change the oil. At some point, I think I might have to go get a valve checkup. But honestly, I don't even think I'm going to have to do anything to the valves. But the engine is bulletproof. Like, long as you treat it right, it'll treat you right. So I just want you guys to know that you will see me on this bike more, simply because it's new. And this is where I am right now. Is this bike? Is the Indian. When I had the S1000, I didn't ride the M109 as much because I was putting miles on the S1000. But that said, those bikes serve two different purposes. So you could say, oh well, you had a sports bike and a cruiser. Of course, you're gonna still ride the M109. But right now, I got two cruisers, one mid-size and one bigger. So it makes sense that I would probably, I would lean more towards the Scott Bobber. But, yeah, the 109 ain't going nowhere, guys. But I don't think I will be modding it or doing anything else to it. Simply because there's not really, one, there's not much to do to it. And two, I kind of like it where it is. I don't know. There's, oh, God, I need gas. But, yes, that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. I just wanted to clear the air and let you guys know where I stood with the 109. But I'm about to go ahead and get some gas and get home, because it's getting dark and people like to ride crazy out here. So until next time, guys, I am Brandon Bicasso, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out. I love this bike so much. Oh man, this bike is so much freaking fun.